Started recording.
Okay, good. Good evening. This is the City of Newcastle Board of Elections meeting, Wednesday, March 15th, 2023. It is now 6:33 p.m. and I am calling the meeting to order. I am Mary Ann Cavan, the chair of the election board, and the next members, can you introduce yourselves?
Susan Hager. Connie Reese.
Okay, can we take a minute or two? We now have the minutes from the previous meeting. And if the members here of the board would read them and we can review if there need to be any changes or they can be approved as is in a few minutes. Roger, you have the minutes there to read, review, and approve. I'll make changes if needed.
That's
the
issue.
Cold. Oh, wait, I'm moving away. Bad one. Has everyone read the minutes?
Yep.
Okay, I see no reason for any, or no need for any changes. And I move to approve the minutes as is. Can I get a second?
Second.
Minutes approved as is. Okay, moving on to the general discussion of the minutes of the needs for the election. Each of you have a list of things that have to be taken care of, many of which I'll go down the list now have already been completed. But these are the needs on this page of the things that have to be done prior to the election and prior to the procedures that will take effect the week of the election. So we have applications for machines, which goes into the county. That has been completed and submitted. The insurance rider for the machines in county needs to be done in advance. That has been completed and submitted. Thank you, Diane. Contracts with the county for training have been completed and submitted. The training this year, which is mandatory for poll workers, is at the county election warehouse on Lisa Drive in the vicinity of Harris Corner, where it's been held for quite some time, as many years as I've served. And it's going to be April 12th at 10 a.m. That has set. And every poll worker who's been contacted has been given that information as well. Contract with the senior center, that has been completed and submitted. The list for the voter registrations have been printed and they are presently under review, with board member Connie Reese, myself, and absentee clerk Diane. So the absentee ballots are now available and have been. And if anyone has any interest in learning about the envelopes, how someone obtains them, Diane is here. And would you like maybe to do it? Just show everyone? Yeah, why don't you do that? I brought them here because in the past, I brought the sample, yeah. Because in the past, it's been helpful. People have had interest in how they are completed. And but since Diane here is our absentee ballot clerk, I'm going to give the file to Diane and she can show you exactly what happens in the city administrative office.
So somebody comes in and says they want a ballot. First ask for ID, make sure that they are registered to vote on the list that we have. Once that's verified, I will give them the affidavit. Let's see. They get a copy of the request for the ballot. So they put on their request. They sign it, and then I complete a part on here, whether they came in person, requested by mail, when they picked up the ballot, and when it's returned. And we also have a log that we keep as well. Once they complete that, and I've again verified all their information, I give them a copy of the ballot. And then also a copy of copy of the actual ballot envelope. And I instruct them, they do get a copy of the instructions. They are to vote their ballot, put it in the envelope, do not seal it, which it says on the back. Some people prefer to seal it. That's okay. I don't know. Then they have to complete the voucher envelope. They must sign it. I've had some come back where people haven't signed, and they do give us a phone number when they pick up their ballot. So I am able to call some people and let them know that they need to come in and sign it. So they do have an opportunity to complete this so that it does count. And then everything is date stamped through our office on the back. The time and the date go on there when the ballot's returned. And then they remain under lock and key in a fireproof. Once they go in the ballot box, at the end of the day, they're cleaned out, put in our fireproof cabinet so that nothing happens to them. They're safe and secure. They also have the option to mail it back, and then they'll get this envelope as well. And that's pretty much it. Once they come back to the office, they stay safe and secure. And on election day, I come in and run them over to the polling location and hand them over to the board. And that's the end of my.
And the last day for voting,
Is
I see.
they can obtain a ballot up till noon the day before.
okay,
If they want to return it to our office, we have to have it by 4:30. Basically before we close that Friday, or they'll have to bring it to the polls with them.
okay.
So that's.
Thank you, Diane.
And if anybody wants copy of the instruction or the procedure for the ballot, it's right here as well.
Thank you. And the ballots, the absentee ballots can be delivered to the poll. There was always some misconception about that, but they are able to deliver them to the poll up until the time the polls close. We count the absentee ballots during the course of the day. And we've had situations where people have come to vote in person. And they are able to do that. We poll their absentee ballot when they come in to register. If they're coming to register, we already have marked on the registration lists the people for whom we have the absentee ballots. So there's cross-checking done. But thank you very much. Okay, so we have posters, and Kim's not here. Kim brought the posters here. So we have posters. Which we always at election time distribute and post indoors on bulletin boards where we can. The library posts them for us, community rooms in churches, schools, that sort of thing. And they'll be distributed among the board members. And some of them will be laminated so they can go outdoors, and we'll follow up with that. Okay, and now we need somebody as well. One of the things that has to be done soon by one of us is the review of the goods that are in the city administration building. And that would probably need to be Connie, you or Susan, because each of you participated in the last election. Rodney and I did not.
What do you mean review of goods? What are the goods?
Well, at the end of the election day, everything that was used at the registration desks, signage, about the poll, where to
Got
go, which desks would have the registration list for you, because they're alphabetized. I'm not sure, I can't recall exactly what else was used, but some of it comes from the warehouse. Drew brings from the election warehouse, and generally that's left with us.
Right.
But pencils, pens, papers, anything related to the poll use that day in the election is generally put into bins and stored in the city administration building. So that needs to be polled. It should be inventory. There should be lists there that tell you what is in there, but we need to review them.
Okay.
So I'd be happy to join anyone, but I think you two, having worked the last election,
Sure.
one of you or both of you would be the best to review what's in there.
Sounds like fun.
Okay, so
The
the next getting closer to the day of is the day before, when we have to break down the lists. The final registration list, after they've been revised and updated, will need to be broken down into 3 parts. I think you still did 3 parts last time, did you not? Three parts, 3 tables for
I think it was just
registration.
3.
Yeah,
I don't
okay,
recall
so
exactly, but I think it
if it
was.
was, there was talk in the past about making it 4, but that's. So we need to do that that day of, the day before the election, and we need to actually have the poll itself prepared in the afternoon. So as we get closer, somebody can volunteer to do that. Sometimes Bob Thatcher is there and he can help do that. But it has to be done the evening before, because when we open up the next morning, we have to be ready to go. And because I am on the board of the senior center as well, I will be the one that will open and close the senior center itself.
Okay.
But others will need to be there to help to do other things, Hospitality, I think Susan, you agreed to. I don't know if you wanted to handle it for the day, or we can talk about it.
Basically what I did before, I think I got, went to Capriotti's or someplace, got a menu. It'll probably be the one right up here on Route 141, and then asked everybody what they wanted, ordered it, and then I picked it up.
We've done it. It's really, whatever you
And
like
for
to do.
breakfast-
We've given people menus and let them circle in order, and we've had food delivered. We've had, but in the morning, we need to have coffee and tea and everything ready to set up, and
that's
donut juice.
Separate,
Right.
I do, so I used to do yogurt, and I think I'll make some stuff. And
Okay.
bring- And then I'll get coffee at Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, we'll review, and so that is all covered. And then beyond that, we're just moving on to election day procedures. And you have the list. I don't think it's anything we need to review right now. But everything that happens on the day of the elections is on a second sheet that should be right there underneath the list that we just reviewed. So if you want to take that and go through it, we'll review it again. It includes how we open the poll, what happens during the course of the day, and how we close the poll. And then following the closing of the poll, there's one other commitment, which is the canvass of the votes, and that's taken days later. So that is, unless you have any questions, does anyone on the board have any questions about anything that we?
Not about
do?
this, I have some other questions. As board members, are we allowed to attend any of the times that the people who are running get together to talk about what their positions are and what they, or are we not really supposed to?
You mean a forum, like a
Correct.
candidates forum?
Correct.
We don't conduct that. That's not the.
No, we don't conduct it, but
Oh, you're
are we
allowed
allowed to
as
go
a
to?
private citizen. You're not allowed, we don't campaign. We don't
Right.
endorse, we don't campaign.
Right.
And we're very careful that the day of the election and the poll, there is no one at the polls campaigning, endorsing, or wearing M&A buttons or anything like
Right.
that. But as a citizen, a voting citizen, yes, of course, you would be, I think you should attend, and just for your own personal information. However, I'm not aware that there's anything planned. It's not like, the League of Women Voters places.
I think
schedules
you mean a meet
forums.
and greet, right?
Pardon?
Like a meet and greet for an individual.
Yeah, if there's going to be, a Q&A, like women, like
Yeah.
the League of Women Voters does it. I've attended many in my life. We used to have a few here, and I can't remember exactly who sponsored them, but they were at the middle school.
Okay.
That's not what she's talking about.
She's talking about an individual
about-
candidate meet and greet.
Oh.
Going to somebody's house and meeting a candidate and.
Well, I would like to talk about that further with some people at the county level. I don't know that, it seems to me that maybe something on that intimate a level. I've been approached by candidates for this election, and I've had some conversations, and I've told them I'm going to get back to them with some questions I have. But that I would not be discussing anything publicly about their campaign or their positions or anything else.
Right.
So with regard to whether I don't think I probably would go to a small forum like that, like
Okay,
an
that's
in-house,
fine.
you're talking about a home or something like
Yeah.
that, a meet and greet. I would refrain, but let me get back to you to confirm what the real
It's
position of
fine.
the
I
state
think
and
it's
county.
probably better not to, frankly.
I would think.
Yeah.
But I will get back to confirm. I'm just sharing my personal opinion on it. Is there anything else from board members?
Yeah, okay, I've gone through all these names, and there was one name I found out that is not in Newcastle, that's on this list, that's not already marked.
Okay, well,
I've gone through
we're-
every
we're-
one of them and checked every one of them.
great, that's wonderful. And we're going, Diane and I talked about
And
this earlier.
Diana you went through for the other votes, right?
For absentees.
Well, for the absentees, I
Right.
went through, and first off, went through and looked at the streets that were marked that were not. in-
Right,
that no-
right.
And I found a couple that actually were in Newcastle, I believe.
Oh, I
Or
didn't.
maybe,
look
well,
through
no,
them.
I think I went through, I found some that were not, they're like on the other side of the street, when half the street is divided.
Oh, right.
Like Rogers
Right.
Manor, there are a few
Yeah,
streets
so-
like that.
There's one, yeah,
Yeah.
but there's one here that I found that is not in the city. But
Okay,
all
well-
the other ones were pretty,
We need to review that maybe by the end of this week.
Okay.
Does that sound reasonable, or by Monday? Just so that the corrections are all made, so that if candidates moving forward want to get a list that's updated, most of them also know who is and is not, or which streets or whatever. But today, as I think I shared in the past meeting, it's because everything's computerized and the county has all the property, all the parcels are computerized. With numbers, you can go to your laptop and put in an address. The Newcastle County
right,
Parcel
well, that's
Site.
what I did with
Yeah.
all these. If I had a question, I went through and every one of them was, I didn't look through the ones that they said were, because I just.
I looked at the street names, and I'm like. oh,
Right, well, that's what I
interesting.
did. That's what
So we just need to review that all before
And
you
see
or I or
what
somebody.
you have
says
and what I
final.
have and see if they match.
Okay. Anything else?
On the poll workers. I am missing a lot of sort of contact information.
That's a good, thank you for bringing that up. I had it down here and I did not,
And I've
Skipped
spoken
over
to
it.
people outside of that also, and some people are interested. But I think we wanted to contact first the people.
I've contacted, I did get the list and I did contact by email. Some of them I had emails for or phone numbers and gave them the information. I was waiting to get the information on the training.
Right,
And that's set now for
Okay,
April
yeah.
12th at 10 o'clock. It used to be like a late afternoon thing.
right.
So I'll get back with you by the end of the week.
Okay,
we'll
we can talk
review
about
it.
that.
Because, I already know one or two people that's committed to it who left me messages and said the training session isn't going to work for them.
Oh, really?
Either at the top, that particular day and time, or they just have taken on new employment and so no training session will
Well,
work.
Tara
So we'll review
definitely
it,
will do
but
it.
there are also a lot of new people that will do it. So
Yeah, I spoke to Tara, who was.
the only one I did not. contact.
Yeah, she's fine with it. She didn't know about, I'm sure the training time will work for her because she's working from home and they give her time off. But I've also spoken to some other people, so once we get
Okay,
down.
yeah, we'll get down to it.
Okay.
Because some of them have said yes, and that put me on the waiting list, or if you need me or whatever.
So poll workers that have done it many times before, know how to do it, but don't, like you said, don't necessarily know how to, or can't attend the training. They can still, they have to attend the training.
They have to attend the training.
I think that's a state regulation, but it's always been mine when I shared, yes, I think that it's mandatory. It is mandatory. And it's not mandatory for board members. But of course, board members, we're just overseeing the election. They're the poll workers who are actually,
Because we can't touch the machine.
That's correct. And Drew, the representative from the warehouse, is available all day.
But we
and
can go,
comes
as
and
board
goes,
members, we can go
visits.
to the trainings.
Yes, yes, and I encourage you to.
Yeah, I think it's.
If you go, if you
I think
want
we
to,
should.
yeah, I mean, you don't have to be at the poll but if you want to be at the poll, just in case, there should be a need, you should be trained.
Are you gonna be at the poll that day?
Yeah.
I'll definitely be there all day.
Well, it's up to, we'll talk about it, who wants to be there, what hours or when, but I'll be there to open it for certain.
Okay,
I've always stayed in the past, but that's to be determined.
okay.
So, if we don't have anything else from board members to review, I'll open, discussion to the floor and the public. If anyone has anything to add, I'd like maybe before to have our new solicitor introduce himself, perhaps give a little hello and.
Sure. Good afternoon. I think we're still in the afternoon, maybe the early evening. My name is Chris Griffiths. I'm an attorney at Conley Gallagher, and we've recently been appointed as solicitor for the city of Newcastle. We've done this work in a lot of other towns, Delaware City, the town of Newport, the town of Townsend. And I do some of the work for Arden as well. There are a lot different form of government there, but they keep me on my toes because it's very, very different. We're happy to be here. We've only been to maybe about 2 meetings, and a few of the side meetings as well. We do it by committee, so you may not just see me, you may see other people from my firm or my practice group, the government group, that would be assisting you. I do serve on the state's election hotline, so during election days, I am on the phone, just waiting for poll workers to call me saying, hey, Chris, I have a problem. This person wants to vote. I don't know what to do. I serve on that hotline.
Oh, great.
And we've done some election cases as well, just litigation as well. So we do a lot of government litigation as well, not just sort of the solicitor work. We represent the governor's office, a lot of the state agencies like DENREC and DelDOT. Then we represent the county, Newcastle County, and then, we've represented different towns from Rehoboth all the way up here to doing things for as small as, Bellefonte or Arden to, I don't know, who's the biggest town we've done, but we have a lot of different cases and we've seen a lot of different things. But for you folks, typically, if you guys seem to run a really good meeting, but I would be here as your counsel as well, if you thought you needed counsel. And I could serve here and advise you as things are happening at the meeting. But on election day, typically you wouldn't see me, but if you guys want my cell phone number, I'll make sure you have it at the end of the meeting, just in case you want to call me or you need something. But there is a hotline too that you can call that the state has to help you out, and a lot of attorneys just volunteer to serve in that capacity. Not much else about me. I'm still a local guy in Louisiana High School, University of Delaware, and Villanova School of Law, and tried and true Delaware kind of guy. So I'm here. If you guys need me, my door is open. Feel free to call me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I would like to note that the election hotline, is so appreciated. I mean, I did not work the last election, but I did for 15 years previously.
Yeah.
And that was used every election.
Yes.
And it was wonderful because there was always someone there. Drew would be coming and going, but it was really great to know that you could pick up the phone and you would get someone.
Yep.
Talking live.
That's right. Sometimes I
Live.
gotta look something up, but
But that's
we'll get back
okay.
to you.
That's right. That's right. That's appreciated. Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that has anything to add or comment on from the floor?
Yes. Good evening, board. Just a few comments. My name's Phil Gross, 1301 13th Street. Some very simple questions. One, what is the last day for a candidate to withdraw his or her name from the election?
I'd have to look it up. It's passed.
Actually, it's the 20th of March.
Oh, I'm sorry. Withdraw. Yep,
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Second question is, what is the last time and date, if you could look it up, of when a candidate can put their name to run?
The deadline to register is, let's see, deadline to register. That's the deadline to
If I
register.
may, I believe it's February 24th.
I was gonna say, I can look it up in a minute. We're past it, so, I was gonna say the 24th or the
24th, 4:30.
24th.
PM,
5 PM or 4:30?
5 PM.
Okay. As far as signage for campaigns, what was the first day that they are allowed to be out? And is this board checking to see if any candidates had put their campaign signs out?
There is no mandate on it. There is an agreement that's presented to you in your candidate package. It's voluntary.
Gentlemen's
So-
agreement.
Yes, exactly. So, it's up to the candidates whether they adhere to it or they don't adhere to it. I believe all signed it and agreed to it. But there is no mandate
Okay,
and it's 30 days.
correct, but it wasn't.
They want to limit,
mandatory.
they want to limit the signage, the public signage to within 30 days of the actual election date. That's the
Gotcha.
intent.
Another comment, just to weigh in on appropriateness of the board or polling workers, having been involved with elections and the Board of Elections. They said basically poll workers at the polling place are not to comment. But outside of there, different from the board's held to a higher standard. And they are not to be talking about specific candidates publicly. Again.
I'm sorry, is that a question?
No,
Oh.
that's just a comment. City
Okay.
solicitor might confirm that. But that's the way I've known it to be in the past. And last but not least, prior to my name being taken off the ballot, was this board consulted?
No.
Nope.
All right, thank you.
May I be heard?
Yes, you may.
For the record, Chris Griffiths from Conley Gallagher here on behalf of the city solicitor's office. I just wanted to comment on Mr. Gross's final comment about the Board of Elections being consulted. Yes, his name was taken off the ballot for a reason, and I'll leave that. That's for him to discuss if he'd like to discuss it. But ultimately, you were not, essentially, if any pre-election issue under the law comes to you for review. And so it would have been inappropriate for me to bring that to you. If he feels aggrieved by that decision, his options or his legal option is to come here and appeal that decision to you. All pre-election things come here. And so that's the dispute he would have come and brought to you, since that would be something for you to be the arbiter of. It would not be right for you to sort of get prejudgment on it. He would come here and present his evidence. I would present mine, and then you guys would make a ruling whether or not he would remain on the ballot or not. Hence, I know he may be upset about you not being consulted, but that's the way the law works. You guys get pre-election issues if they come up. Right now, this is a pre-election issue. If he feels aggrieved by it, he's supposed to get himself on your agenda and come talk to you guys about what happened, and I would present the city's evidence. And you guys would then tell you the law, and you guys would make your determination. I just want to make that part of the record clear. That there was nothing wrong about not letting you know. The key is that you didn't prejudge it, right? So that's all. That's
Thank
my
you for
only-
sharing that information.
My pleasure.
Anything further?
Good evening, everyone. Michael Platt, I live at 202 East 11th Street. Well, first, I want to thank everybody for volunteering. I know it's tough, and especially in a small town, we have to make tough decisions. So I do want to thank everyone. I think something that should come before this board is Ms. Valerie Leary received her packet through email. There's a whole lot of controversy going through there, when, how, where. I think the board should ask her some questions on exactly what happened. 9 out of 10 people went down, picked up their pallet or packet and had somebody else, which has been done in the past since we've been doing elections. And I don't know why it was done differently with her, or whether she was given special treatment because she's a council person or whatever. But I think this board should at least ask her the questions, how things transpired. Thank you.
Thank you for your input. Anything else? I think now we've covered everything. We've heard from the floor, and I thank everyone who spoke and brought anything to the board's attention. And I move to adjourn the meeting at this time,
Second.
7:03 PM. Thank you very much. Meeting is adjourned.
No, I don't know.
So,
No, I didn't.